Hey, this is a fan-supported, listener-supported podcast, supported by people just like you, coming to people just like you. We give it to you free of charge every single Thursday on ColtCabana.com, on iTunes, SoundCloud, Stitcher, wherever you get your podcast from. You know that.
Sponsored by
And you can say,
SeatGeek.
and then you say, this podcast is brought in part by Hotels.com.
Yes.
Don't hate like, I don't know.
This video was sponsored by SeatGeek.
All right, but yeah, let's get going. Hello. This is now we are getting going for episode number 17 of 5 of the week. We have a cast of people joining the call once again. Making a return from last week, it's Taivo, and then it's Robotastic, and the special one, a Cryptic Pancake. But I am your producer, the main host, the El Dictatore of the 5 of the Week universe at Okocha Star. Everyone can say hi, so it's back in that order. So Taivo, yo.
Hey, what's up, people?
And then to Robo and
Hi.
What up, everyone?
yeah, so they are once again. Taivo is the athletic director for the Texas Longhorns. Robotastic is the athletic director for the Indiana Hoosiers, and Pancake is the athletic director for the Notre Dame Not So Fighting Irish.
Okay.
So
Because Robo's doing any better than us, or Taiwo for that matter.
yes, yes. As was promised last week, before we go into our topics, we're gonna talk about Taivo and his history with sim leagues. From what I've gathered during my time in the SBA, Taivo is a part of like 24 different sim leagues. So we're not gonna go too in depth to every single one of those, but he can tell us more about them and his history with sim league.
I'm in four, I'm pretty sure, only. And I'm inactive. I'm IA in one of them. Oh, I forgot to update in one also. But my first sim league was the SBA, and then I just joined the affiliates. That's basically all I have to say, because I'm only really active in the SBA.
Yeah, so the basketball GM leagues, not any of your concern by now.
Those don't require work at all, basically.
Oh yeah, so you just add in your character.
Yeah, but it's
and-
fun to win there, you know.
I don't like being GMs in those leagues.
Hmm.
Because then I have to take some focus off my main leagues.
Yeah, and I'm just gonna assume that the league media in basketball GM leagues is not parallel with the SBA or the VHL for that matter. But talk about your history in the SBA. You joined in January or
November.
Oh yeah.
I joined in November and made a player. 3 seasons at UNC. Lost in a national championship game. Became an AD because I didn't want to I don't want to be a league writer anymore. And right now, I'm in my second season on Toronto with Finn.
Yes, sir.
And
Oh yeah, isn't it all of our second seasons?
Not
Yeah.
mine.
Yeah.
not BO.
We're all doing trash.
I mean,
Longhorns 14 and 30, Hoosiers
Nice stats,
14 and
man.
29, Fighting Irish 14 and 28. We all have 14 wins.
Oh, you're talking about NCAA? Yeah, we're not doing too hot. That's true. But we
Yeah.
beat Indiana in the sim today, so take that.
Oh
Also,
yeah.
how- I swear
Dude, it
to
was
God, the only
How many
person
games
who
did I
gets
win?
player of the game on your team is Sir Dabs and Cheese.
I don't even know why.
He's
Like,
the greatest
He's
player of all
70
time.
TP. He's 70 TP and he's inactive.
He's better
And-
than every SBA Hall of Famer.
Yeah. he-
He's like carrying the team as a 70 TP inactive.
I was gonna suggest to him that you drop him in the off season to you, but you were like away camping, and then then the season starts and he turns into like Seishun Suzuki.
He was already pretty good last year, but now that he is the primary option for
He's like averaging almost 20 a game, bro.
yeah,
So
shit's
weird.
insane.
Yeah, so you can talk about it, Taiwo, right here on the podcast instead of the
Oh.
chat box. Like,
So yeah, I just searched up basketball career leagues, and then I saw GM Games post by Mo, and I joined the league, and I made my player that day.
yeah,
I went to sleep and I woke up with 3 offers, and I picked the best one.
do you remember which the other offers were?
I got offers from Texas, Syracuse, and UNC. Out of those teams, 2 of the ADs went inactive, so it was a good choice.
Who were they? Like, Doc didn't go.
It was
But Doc was later.
Oh, so
Kyle joined the season before us.
yeah, I joined early.
Yeah.
So do you remember who it was before Doc?
But Doc was Notre Dame, and like Notre Dame wasn't around as Taiwo.
Oh, I said UNC. UNC.
Ah, UNC, not UND. Of course. Well, that we know who the AD was and still is, I think. So,
So that
who did you play with in college? Like Isaiah Green and
No. Isaiah
I've heard
Green
of
was
Isaiah.
Villanova.
he was Villanova.
oh,
All my my other uncap was Damian Wade, who's like inactive on the
Yeah.
Vipers, and then Nemius and Anthony Diaz are the other 2 teammates I really talked to, and DB Filler.
yeah, all right, that's right. Do you remember who were the guys on the season 36 team?
Season 36. What season are we in right now?
39.
Okay, that's way too long. You mean my freshman season? I can remember all of that.
Your sophomore.
Sophomore, it was me, Damien,
All right, yo.
Don-
Yeah.
Donos, and DB's filler.
Yeah. It was a bunch of fillers, it seems. And
We had a lot of fillers.
And then seems like either inactive or failed filler Javel, Farg, McGee, Zax, who I remember led the league in 3-point percentage or something like that. But yeah, all right. Enough of that. And let's move on to the main topics. Think we've done enough justice to Taiwo here. We can do a more exhaustive sit down once we're starving for TP later this year. But the actual topics this week, we're gonna predict and talk about the possible first teams, the All-American teams, the best point guards, best shooting guards, best small forwards, best power forwards, and the best center of the NCAA come the end of the season. And with a twist, we're gonna do the same for freshmen. So we're gonna name our 5 of the week All-Americans and the freshman All-Americans. I don't know if they're called freshman All-Americans or just freshmen, but we can start off with the point guards. So the way we're gonna do this is I'm gonna present the first one, and then everyone else can go in order. So looks like Robo's not in here right now, but I guess we can do so. Taiwo goes after me, then Pancake, and then Robo once he comes back and hears all this. So my choice for the point guard of the year is actually, yeah, so so
I don't even talk in an Aussie accent. What?
this is all good practice, like
Yes, you do.
I do?
You definitely have an Australian accent.
Oh my
It's not
goodness.
super thick, but you have one.
Alright.
alright, so the point guards For the off season, it's usually one take, leave everything in, but for the seasonal quality, like in-season quality, we're gonna do some assurances. For the point guard, I'm actually gonna select Barry Allen Taylor as my point guard of the year over notable point guards Oscar J. Basilan and Jaren Flores by virtue of minutes played in comparison to Jaren, and then shooting efficiency and more assists in comparison to Oscar. Then also the Arizona Wildcats, for whom the Barry Allen Taylor plays, has the best record out of all three of them. So who's your pick then, Ty?
Same as you, Barry Allen Taylor.
I
That's-
also have. Oh shit! Sorry.
He passes. He's the best passer in college, and he's gonna get his scoring up a little, and he can play really good defense. So that's why.
Yep. I also, as I just said prematurely, I also have Barry Allen Taylor as my point guard of the year. Also, due to the fact that his team is once again, the Wildcats are very good. He's leading the league in assists and is second in steals. And his scoring, it could of course go up a bit, but that's clearly not his focus. And just as far as point guards go, he's a very old school point guard, and he really helps his team out a lot.
Alright, and Robo, who's your pick for the...
I probably wouldn't pick him. That's just personal preference though, because I prefer my point guards to score in double digits.
Shaking my head.
I would need to look at all the other point guards, but let me check real quick.
So Anthony Diaz, Oscar J. Basilan, Jaren Flores, Ragnar Lesnar, Daniel Carson, Danny Jones, Clyde Alexander, Alexei Zhukov, Alec Wood, Ivan Kurokov. That's the brunt of it, I think. Isaiah Kidd as well, yeah.
Lou Cypher, isn't he a point guard? Or is he
he's
playing shooting
He
guard?
plays shooting guard, yes.
He listed point guard on the thing.
Yeah, he played point guard last season, but he's at shooting guard at the moment.
Carson and Danny Jones are better scoring point guards than Oscar J. Basilan for... That's for Taiwo.
Who?
Daniel Carson and Danny Jones, Oregon and
Oh.
West Virginia. So, while Robotastic gathers his notes, it's safe to assume the 5 of the week consensus goes to Barry Allen Taylor for reasons presented earlier. We can wait for a moment for him to gather his thoughts and
That was accurate. What do you mean?
Do you like
I
the?
don't even. What is Jeopardy music?
It's Jeopardy. Yeah.
Oh. Well, is there anyone other than Barry Allen Taylor or Oscar? Because I
I
don't
think-
know.
Ragnar Lesnar.
yeah,
Ragnar Lesnar.
didn't I read through all of them? Like Anthony Diaz, Jaren Flores, Ragnar Lesnar, Daniel Carson, Danny Jones, Clyde Alexander, Alexei Zhukov, Isaiah Kidd. Like,
Like, I don't
of
know.
the
This,
stats. Can you send me a screenshot of the stats? Oh wait, how do you do that? Oh,
bro, I have never seen this page before.
yeah, I know,
Is
right?
that on FPV3? Yeah,
Yeah, I'll
this
go
is taking way
Oscar.
too
I'll
long.
go Oscar.
Oh, you're just here to boost his ego.
It just
So
had
he'll
to
be
take
back-
like a
he'll be
5-minute
back in
break.
the General
Just a
chat.
5-minute break to get my thoughts together, you know. You can cut it.
Bro, Oscar gets no steals. What the fuck? 3?
So, Robotastic ended up gathering his thoughts and went with Barry Allen Taylor for now. We're gonna move to the shooting guard of the year. My pick, and probably most of the SBA population's pick, was and is Leonard Church, who takes the cake over Shavon Williams and Lou Cipher for being the same sort of offensive engine, but only with fewer off nights and great defensive acumen to himself. Finally, the Duke Blue Devils team record is also better than either of Kentucky or Connecticut.
I picked Church also.
Yeah, it's very clearly Church in my opinion. Like, he's the best scorer at the shooting guard position. He rebounds the ball well, and his assists are decent for a guard, and then go along with 2.2 steals per game. That's really, you don't want much more from your shooting guard, and yeah.
Yeah, not really. You can't really argue Leonard Church, not Leonard Church.
Keys. Yeah, so the keys now fucking work, so we're back on air. So the clear-cut 5 of the week consensus is for Leonard Church to be the shooting guard of the year. In another year, it's clear that Lou Cipher would be, if not the winner, again a front runner, but Leonard Church has come off the blocks firing and cleaning up team after team, so we're gonna go with him. For small forwards, a bit of an obvious selection, another one of those. My selection is Bobby Buckets by a landslide. He is a pure scorer with no defensive upside right now, but he is trusted to hold the keys to the Washington offense. Benito De Soto, Ezekiel Bridges, and J.K. Kirby were all in consideration, but with similar efficiency numbers with lower usage due to Val Tomasic and Trayvon Summers also being offensive stalwarts. Buckets takes home this one.
I picked Bobby.
Okay. Yeah. So I also obviously have Bobby Buckets. He's one of the MVP frontrunners for. He's leading the league in scoring, and that alone gives him an edge on the other small forwards. But then in addition to that, he also actually gets the second most rebounds at the small forward position. So the combination of those two makes him a very valuable asset, especially to his team. And he really kind of runs away with the small forward of the year, in my opinion.
Yeah, sure.
Great! Tony the Tiger also making an appearance. Well-esteemed guest of the podcast, a friend of the podcast. So Bobby Buckets also the consensus selection for small forward of the year. So to remind you, Barry Allen Taylor, Leonard Church, Bobby Buckets, and now the power forward selection. So another easier call for Benjamin Chauvel of the Maryland Terrapins. Expected to be at this level or possibly even higher going into the season, Chauvel is a major problem for opposition defenses from 13 feet and closer. Everywhere he makes things happen. Unprecedented scoring efficiency, and I think the highest usage of all the power forwards in NCAA. He should be a clear-cut choice for this one. What about anyone considering anyone else on the podcast?
I don't think so.
So the Crickets seem to show us that the power forward of the year also pretty clearly in Benjamin Chauvel's favor. We're gonna
The big boy. The heavy lifting.
We can all claim double TB.
What? We can claim double TP for this.
Bro, Oko, do you read the notifications you get? Or like SBA announcements? It's All-Star Weekend week.
Yeah.
Double TP for all of your point tests. Or like 6-point tests.
Yeah, I'm aware. I was looking through my Discord when you said notification. I was like, how did you know I was tagged in the Mexico City Kings VHLM Discord? But didn't really make sense. Yeah, I know it's doubled. I already claimed all that with the written point task I did. Let's move on to the center of the year. This time a bit more difficult of a decision, in my opinion. But my selection is Shooty Mac Shootface. Like I said, a difficult decision between Shooty, Vernon, and Othello Hawkins. Xavier Vernon, of course, the starting center for Syracuse Orange. All of them possible MVP contenders in a different year. Mac Shootface is the perfect centerpiece for a college side. Secondary scoring provided by a hot Lou Cipher makes Shooty's off days seem more scarce, and while
Isn't Shooty on? Oh, forget it.
It's Shooty Muck Shoot Face, not Shooty Mac Shoot Face.
Are you sure that he's on UConn?
yeah, I'm pretty sure he's on UConn.
He is on
Can you
UConn.
post
Oh yeah,
that?
true. I confused him with someone.
Yeah, so while Shooty's off days seem more scarce, and while Vernon might be a bit more well versed for March tournament basketball with his physical strengths and rebounding, Shooty looks to be the regular season's best center. What are your thoughts on the centers this year, Taiwo?
I have not paid attention enough to centers, so I don't know any centers right now except for Shooty. I don't know who I picked. I might have picked Shooty actually, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, so the other guys I mentioned, Xavier Vernon and Othello Hawkins. Othello Hawkins currently at 199 TP, and
Yeah,
Vernon.
that's why I didn't pick him.
Yeah, he's still really good though. Like Second, in value added, which is counted alongside player efficiency rating, which is a bad metric, but that's about as advanced as it gets with Fast Break Pro Basketball. Othello Hawkins is second, in front of Xavier Vernon and Yuna Momento. So good for him doing that all with 199 TP. Your thoughts then, Pancake?
For me, this is also a two-man race between Shooty McShootface and Xavier Vernon. I also give the edge to Shooty McShootface just because he's in the top 5 in scoring in the league, and he doesn't grab as many rebounds, but he's not really expected to. I don't think, like, his main value to the team is scoring, and he's really the best scoring big man at the very least, or I guess scoring center this year. And yeah, I think he's probably the better contender for this title.
And Robo, your thoughts? You're of course a specialist in center matters.
Does he score the most for a center?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's the center of the year.
Yeah.
Simple choice.
Vernon scores 20 points per game. Shooty McShootface scores 24.6.
Oh, yeah, it's not close.
Definitely
Not
not
close
close.
to averaging 30 something.
Like Dabs and Cheese probably scores more than Othello Hawkins by now. Like
He
No,
scores
he's still a bit lower.
19.3.
oh, just
He's
around the
literally
edges.
he's one spot under Xavier Vernon.
yes. So pretty close there. So the consensus 5 of the week All-American first team looks to be Barry Allen Taylor at point guard, Leonard Church at shooting guard, Bobby Buckets as the small forward, Ben Chevelle as the power forward, and then Shooty McShootface as the starting center, or like the center. And there's no bench players on the first team. That's a pretty good lineup. I'd assume it wins the national championship 10 out of 10 times.
Well, I mean, none of them are averaging 30 points per game, which is pretty sad.
Well,
Yeah, no one this season is averaging 30 points.
It's like this season has, like, I don't know, maybe just less scoring.
Which one of these players do you all consider most likely to win the national championship then? Taivo, who do you think? Chevelle, Shootface, Buckets, Church, Barry Allen Taylor?
For MVP?
For the Natty.
Who wins
Oh,
or whose
for
team
the
wins
Natty.
playoff?
Ooh. I think Maryland. I think Chevelle's team will win it. Because he has the best teammates around him.
Yeah.
He has a non-capping shooting guard, and he has a beast center with him, so they have to win,
Yeah.
basically.
To me, it's in this order. Like Chevelle is the most likely, then Church, then Barry Allen Taylor, then Max Shootface, and then Bobby Buckets as the least probable winner.
Yeah. For me, it's also between the Terrapins and the Wildcats, so therefore it's either Barry Allen Taylor or what's his name? Benjamin Chevelle, who I think will win the national championship.
Duke feeling disrespected.
Yeah, I
at
picked the
moment.
Terrapins to win the championship too.
Yeah, I think I have Terrapins and then Husk Connecticut as the other finalist. But I don't know, that might just be another type of thing where I pick two teams and then they can't even meet in the finals. Like,
Gonzaga,
know.
Arizona.
no. The Terrapins are in the Big East and the... Yeah, well, they're not in the same division. That's as far as I know. So then we're gonna do the same for freshmen. Starting off with the point guard selection for the freshman first team, Jacoby Battle from the Michigan State Spartans is my pick. A fantastic young offensive-minded guard who can give 40 good minutes for MSU on any given night. Battle can handle a higher load of scoring and creating, which was evident in his 30-point night versus the Fighting Irish earlier this year. Well, obviously Taiwo is not gonna have notes on this one, but can you remember any of the...
Jacoby.
Yeah, solid choice.
Yeah, Jacoby. I'll pick him. I know I have notes for shooting guard, small forward, power forward, center though.
Nice, looking forward to it. And Pancake.
Yeah, I don't really know the freshman point guard, but he from what you just described, he sounds like he had a pretty good season, at least this far, and yeah.
Freshman point guard on Indiana's doing alright. Just please.
So, looks like it's between Jacoby Battle and a pretty girl, but Jacoby Battle seems like he's the more probable one. Well, actually the award is not named, so this is the final conclusion. Jacoby Battle, best freshman point guard of the season so far, at least. For shooting guards, my pick is Stefan Stoyan. Stefan is a talented shooter from Cincinnati, playing in Cincinnati for the Bearcats. Almost reminds you of the mold Kenny Yakoveti started as a prototypical Cincinnati 2 guard, active on defense and efficient on offense. Who's your pick then, Taiwo?
Devin Barlow. I talked to him when I was recruiting him, but he ended up going to Virginia, and I like how he can score.
Yes. And Pancake?
I'm gonna go with Matt Thomas, just because he's putting up the second most points from the shooting guards that are freshmen this season. But then in addition to that, he also averages 6 rebounds, which is the most out of that group. 3.3 assists, which is once again the most, and 1 steal, which isn't it's one of the worst, but still for a freshman, it's fine. And just in the grand scheme of things, he puts up the widest spread of stats out of all the players.
I really want to pick Davon, but I have to go with Matt Thomas. He's averaging less points, but he's winning in every other category.
Yes.
Except blocks.
Yeah, well, blocks as a freshman guard.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter because it's
Yeah.
a point guard.
Yeah, so how did I come to this conclusion was Stefan Stoyan plays more minutes per game than Devin Barlow. Stefan Stoyan has a true shooting percentage of 56.5 compared to Devin Barlow's 48.4 and Matt Thomas's horrid 45.8. And then the assist ratio, so the percentage of possessions where the player is credited with an assist, also in favor of Stefan Stoyan. Usage rate for Stefan is the lowest of all of them, but barring some absolutely mind-boggling shit, Stefan's shooting efficiency is gonna hold up even with higher usage. And then, like, I can't remember which one of you mentioned, the rebounding rate is in favor of Barlow and Thomas. That's where Stefan is the weakest, but from a pure statistical standpoint, he's at least the most effective shooting guard freshman on the court.
Yeah, I mean, if you take in consideration that he than Matt Thomas, and so due to that, you kind of think if he had the same amount of time, if he'd be putting up similar stats. But yeah, just like in terms of him actually getting less minutes, I think the award should to Matt Thomas.
Yeah, so now that I'm looking at it, the difference is 2.9 points in favor of Davon Barlow, for example, compared to Stefan Stoyan. But Davon Barlow has 50% more usage as a ball handler and a primary finisher to play. So that's a lot of that's lots more usage with negligible results in the points per game category, but so the 5 of the week consensus seems to be in favor of Matt Thomas. Congratulations to him. He'll be added to the all freshman first team, all first, whatever the thing's named, freshman first team with Jacoby Battle. And the small forward, freshman of the year in the small forward position, my selection is gonna be Rashid Ryder. This one to me was between Linux Hightower and Double R. Nice. This one to me was between Linux Hightower and Double R Rashid Ryder. He's burst onto the scene and does not disappoint in comparison to the other starters for Louisville, who all already have NCAA experience under their belt. Rashid is a reliable option to score in any pinch and efficient off-ball, and as Stoyan does, Rashid posts a near 40% three-point shooting percentage so far. So we're gonna skip to Pancake with Taivo having a quick cooldown. What are your thoughts on the small forwards?
I also agree that the nod probably goes to Rashid Ryder, although I do have to say the small forward class this season is looking a little weak, especially like compared to the point guard and shooting guards that we just saw. He's not really excelling in any stat per se. However, he does. I mean, he plays 28 minutes. But yeah, in a team where he's not one of the scoring options, it's obvious that he won't be putting up massive points. And I mean, the stats he puts up right now, they are to be expected by a freshman, I guess, but it's just nothing is super, like, astonishing, I guess. It's all pretty average.
I gotta go with my Gonzaga bro for Curtis Davis. He is averaging more minutes, but like, he's also averaging more rebounds, more steals, and not even that many more turnovers as well when he's averaging like 7 more minutes.
Yes, the shooting has been a bit of a problem for Curtis Davis this season. He's been shooting a 31.6% from three-point land, so he looks to profile though as a good two-way player for the future. I have no doubts about that. So a good shout there either way. But I'm just gonna go out on a limb and say Taivo would have named Rashid Ryder as his selection, so the 5 of the week consensus then is Rashid Ryder. The power forward for this year, an intriguing class of players, Bobby Busak, Shea Carroll Jr., Zay Nowitzki, Val Tomasic, and then my pick, Hercules Hoyle. Hoyle is another major addition to the never-ending Duke pipeline of talent. Hoyle is quietly putting up 17 points per game, and as Leonard Church and Eden Empire take up a lot of defensive attention, Hoyle can get to work in short post-ups or cutter plays with Mac defense. Hoyle has an impressive usage rate to pair with above average shooting efficiency and rarely gets in any sort of foul trouble compared to other freshman bigs, at least for minutes played. Like he's averaging the most personal fouls per game, but as a starter he still also averages the most minutes per game. Your choices then.
I also agree that it's definitely Hercules Hoyle. He's leading the pack in rebounds, and he's he's leading the pack in points. And second in rebounds, and he's also leading in assists, surprisingly. And in addition to that, Duke is just once again a very good team, and he is starting on it, and he's having a big impact for the team. And those two in combination make him up the best power forward, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, basically just what Particle said. I mean, Pancake said. Thinking of another person. Yeah.
What did you call me?
Nothing. No, there's this guy in one of my BBGM leagues and called Particle.
Oh, Particle. I thought you said Barnacle.
Like, what?
No.
Alright, so yeah. There's only so much you can talk about that the others have not claimed yet. So I understand the format is a bit poor, as we don't have any film or anything of that sort.
Yeah, we don't have any really contenders.
Yeah, but we can't even expand our thoughts, as is the nature with text sim leagues, we can't point out things we like shooting form or that shoulder shimmy shake down in the post. It takes a lot of imagination to keep this thing going. But then, with Hercules Hoyle added to Rashid Ryder, Stefan Stoyan, and Jacoby Battle, we'll move on to the starting center this center for our freshman first team. So my selection here, he's got a bit of competition with the most recent sim with Kise Sinor. I don't think that name is Japanese, so he's just gonna be Kai Sino. Kai Sino has just in the sim that concluded.
Wait, that is Japanese, isn't it?
Well, it really doesn't seem like Japanese.
I think Sino is Japanese.
Yeah, I know Sino is Japanese, but Sino.
Kise.
Sino.
It was in an anime that I watched.
Sounds Spanish.
Yeah, Sino is the Pokemon region, in Generation 4. It's not
Gen 4.
Yeah, it's not like. Actually, I know Kise is a Japanese first name, but then Sino doesn't really seem like a Japanese surname. Yeah, but whatever. With Sino Kai's making waves with 2 huge double-doubles in the most recent sim, NCAA Sim 9. This man has a bit of competition now, but my selection is Bruce Kent. Kent is the second Michigan State player to make his case. Both of those images uploaded already, calm down, Bio. Maybe they didn't to you, yeah. Kent is the second Michigan State player to make his case for the freshman first team. His talent also lies in scoring, much as his teammate Jacoby Battles does, but Kent is fantastic in asserting his will inside and is strong, which helps his rebounding up a tad bit. Kent has the highest usage of all starting centers this season, for freshmen that is, and pairs that up with the second highest true shooting percentage. Actually now it's gone up to highest, so Highest true shooting percentage amongst all the starters, clearly showing some skill and finesse in addition to his physical strength. Who are your selections then?
For me, it is between Bruce Kent and Cody Smith. Bruce Kent, he's scoring very well, as he just said, almost 17 points per game in 30 minutes, and 6 rebounds to go along with that is fine. So it's not bad for a freshman. But Cody Smith, he is putting up only 9 points, but therefore he's at 7 rebounds and he's putting up 2.3 stocks, which is pretty impressive for a freshman. And just you can see like they're completely opposite builds, really. Like one's focused on offense, the other on defense. But it really kind of depends on what your team needs more. In general, I think I'd give the nod to Bruce Kent, but it's a close one in my opinion.
Out of the 3 of them, I think I gotta go with Sino. He's second in points. He has the most rebounds, he has the most assists, and he gets the most steals. So I think I gotta pick him.
He gets second most steals.
No, I said out of the 3.
Oh, out of the 3. Okay, my bad.
This is an intriguing dilemma we're in. If all of
Who's
the
your
3,
pick?
that was Bruce Kent. So if all of the 3,
Oh.
all 3 of us pick a different player, or if did you like elect?
Yeah, he said Bruce Kent.
All right. I thought the thing was to put Cody Smith as a defensive player in front of Bruce Kent. But
I
yeah, all right.
Kent quite a bit.
So, shoutouts Gonzaga, shoutouts the
Can have a
agency.
fun time with the player mentions list.
No, that's just I already got them handled. Like, don't you worry about that.
No.
Shoutouts the agency. Who are the agency? You'll never know. And you might have a clear idea on who the agency are at this point. But that wraps up our other team of the season, the freshman first team. So it's Jacoby Battle at point guard, Stefan Stoyan at shooting guard, then was it even like there was some no, it wasn't Stefan Stoyan, it was Matt Thomas. Matt Thomas? Was there a guy called Matt Damon?
Matt Thomas.
Yes. So Jacoby Battle, Matt Thomas, Rashid Ryder, I think, Hercules Hoyle, and then Bruce Kent. So that's also a pretty talented team. All of those guys and the others mentioned, be sure to look out for them next year when the MVP talks and positional talks for the actual All-Americans roll around. Speaking of All-Americans and the actual first team, our selections were Barry Allen Taylor from the Arizona Wildcats, then Leonard Church from the Duke Blue Devils, Bobby Buckets from the Washington Huskies, Benjamin Chevelle from the Maryland Terrapins, and then rounding it out, Shooty McShootface of the Connecticut Huskies. So, it's been a pleasure to...
Are you going to announce the name change?
That's
No.
next season.
No, that's
Oh.
later. I'm just gonna do it out of the
Right.
blue. It's like whatever.
You got to generate hype for the new and improved.
Yeah, I'm just
Because
gonna
you got to
leave
get
this.
GoLab working on that SIG.
Yeah, I'm
The new
gonna
SIG.
leave this part in so the people can, if they listen to it, they can speculate.
This
on...
is going to be the blooper at the end.
No, it's
I
just.
mean, it's not that hard to like if you were.
I mean, you can just look at the Discord chat. and
Yes,
it
but
says-
some people don't look at the Discord chat. They might only be on the forums. So, once again, it's been an absolute pleasure to send you another one of these episodes your way. A big thank you to Robotastic for waking up on time this week.
Despite the odds.
I did it for Pancake.
Thank you. Very kind.
Yes,
You know,
as we all.
us Germans, we are very particular about people being on time.
Yeah, yeah.
I do my
We're
all.
always on time on the podcast.
Yeah, I get to choose what's on time and what's not. The Germans can't get us here. Speaking of Germans, then it's also been a cryptic pancake this week once again.
Yep. That's me. I hope you guys enjoyed. See you guys next week.
Shout out to the agency and how's that thing go again? We'll be sure to catch you again next week. Bye.